A mother goes to the bedroom of her child and says, Sheldon, it's time to wake up. So, I don't want. Sheldon, you have to go to school. I don't want to go to school. But Sheldon, you have to go to school. Says, nah, the kids, they don't like me. The kids, they don't like me. But Sheldon, you have to go to school. No, I don't want. But Sheldon, you're the principal. You have to go to school. Oh, poor Sheldon. You didn't see that one coming. Folks, yeah. How often that we don't want to do something, right? We don't want to do something. We don't want to own life, our life. We don't want to own it because it's too tough. It's too painful. But as we have learned in chapters 29 and 30, what it means true ownership to such a degree as that you can speak to yourself as, to crush the negativity within you with very harsh words, and how you can feel that you are lower than anyone, right? That everybody, even to the Bainani, who's got complete mastery over thought, speech, and action, yet feels that the Kal Shebekalim, the simpleton of simpleton, the most removed individual, is even greater than him, right? Because of effort, and even if the effort wasn't put in by the other, but I know better, they don't. And as we've explained till this point. Welcome to Tanya today. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zurich and Kadesh in Montreal, Canada, where it's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. We now go to chapter 31. Huh? Yes, and today's learning is in honor of the first yort site of label, and Moshe. May his neshama have an aliyah. That's Amy's father, or Tova Henya. Tova Henya, right? Tova Henya, you're here? Just make sure she's here. Well, he'll say hello in a moment. Okay. Yeah, may his neshama go from strength to strength. Oh, Henya Tova. Henya Tova. Okay. Your father's neshama is with us. As is customary, by the way, on a yard site, the one gives charity, and that's what Henya Tova did. Well, that's actually one of the most important things. The second most important thing is that there's learning done publicly on that person's yard site, which we're doing. And thirdly, the Kaddish, which I did. So may the soul of Labelman, Moshe, have an aliyah, and go from strength to strength. All right. So after I think we spoke about chapters 29 and 30, that they will dwell deeply on the concepts that we spoke about of crushing the negativity, the animal soul, the insensitive heart, or a heart that might be like a stone, right? And you profoundly, come to a contrite heart, spirit, a broken spirit, right? which will bring to true, what we call atzvus, kind of a sadness. Which sadness is not holiness. Sadness is klipa. So then why come to that sadness? We'll get to it in a moment. What is holiness? Holiness is God is present. If God is present, what will you have? Oiz, strength, and chedva, joy. That's what you're going to have. If God is present, that's what you have. You have strength and you have joy. So then, where does the sadness come in over here? All right, where does the sadness come in? Huh? No, because we're talking about that you're crushing your negativity. So it's a sadness which comes from klipas noiga, from klipa, but the good part of klipas noiga. Because remember, klipas noiga has both good and negativity in it, right? Klipa is a shell. So there's a shell that covers completely over godliness. That's three completely impure, right? Like something not kosher or lashon hara, speaking, right? But sadness is not holy. But when it's sadness, it's coming because I am trying to fix myself and I'm working on myself. So it's a means to an end, because that's what klipas noiga is. What's the end? That you fix what you got to fix, and now you come to true joy. Because joy is greater when it comes after you've done something to fix yourself, right? So now, when this and this is what we mentioned earlier, that chapter 25 actually, that sadness, there's a profit that comes from it. The profit is after you've worked and fixed whatever you need to fix, now you can have true joy, a greater joy as a result. Now, in order to fix what you need to fix, there's another quality that we need to use, and it's not sadness, but it's called bitterness. Ooh, no one likes that word, bitterness. But bitterness is not a bad thing. It's actually a holy thing when it's applied to yourself. Bitter to someone else is completely unholy. Bitter at your negativity and the things that you need to fix is actually a holy attribute. Just as we have chesed, kindness on the right side, right? Which is motivated by love to do an act of loving kindness, is motivated by love to do a kindness. Likewise, on the left side, we have refrain, holding back, judgment, discernment, discerning your situation, and you're bitter because of it. That's actually holy, a holy attribute. It's called gvura. Now, how is bitterness a holy attribute versus sadness? What's the difference? Anybody? Huh? Okay. Right? Sadness is a weight, right? You feel heavy when you're sad. When you feel heavy, you don't change your situation. You continue. You feel, and as a matter of fact, with that sadness, if you allow it to continue, then you're going to have to find some way to find something that will give you pleasure, so you will not feel sad. So then you're going to go to the fridge and look for some comfort food. You're going to go to Netflix and kind of binge so you can feel comfortable. in your skin because you know what? No one can be sad too long. But sad for a brief time on your situation, your spiritual situation, right, is okay if then it will jump to bitterness. Oh, how could I have said that? That's bitter. Oy, stop thinking negative about my loved one. That's being bitter at yourself. That's not sad. That's full of life. That's not the opposite of life, which is sadness is drawing you down. This is full of life. And that full of life then is a vehicle for change. It's a vehicle for change. In other words, you're really owning yourself in that bitterness and saying, in a contrite heart, that I am removed from God in this way. And that leads to owning and changing, turning on a dime even. So both bitterness is valid, as is, which is the expression of the left hand, gvura, as the right hand, chesed, which will bring you to joy. Both of them, right? As a matter of fact, there's something about gvura that is, since you need both right hand and left hand, meaning you need both attributes. You can't always just have joy. You just always can't have love and kindness. Sometimes you need to be discerning. Sometimes you need to call yourself in, right? And to initially, again, it starts with a little sadness, but then the sadness has to convert into the bitterness. What's special about bitterness? It's able to get to the root source of the negativity and to transform it. The metaphor that the Alter Rebbe uses is that of a axe. What is it? What do you use an axe for? To cut down the tree. And what's the axe made from? The tree. It's made from the tree. The wood that is the handle of the axe is made from the tree, right? In other words, you fell the forest from the forest. You fell the negativity of your negativity with a negativity force called gvura, strength, bitterness. That's how you topple it. That's very powerful. And that's what our sages say, that a person should always incite the good inclination to anger against the evil inclination. When should you do that? When maybe you're a little down, depressed, maybe you're a little saddened because of mundane matters now. Make it more about or your spiritual place. Use that as to be a master of accounts. So hold yourself accountable for your situation and fulfill this mandate. But as we will learn tomorrow, that is a holy thing to do, but it's not where you want to always be. You're always going to be bitter at your situation, right? There is a lot to be bitter about. We can look inside if we're going to be honest about ourselves. There's a lot we can be bitter, but we use that, in bits, not too much. Where are we going to be? Well, as we said, where is the divine presence of God? Oiz v'chedva, strength and joy. But more of that will come. Very powerful. Excuse me. So what's the point we're making here? By the way, today we start the first chapter of Rambam, so no one wants to leave. Begin first chapter of Rambam. New session. So this a very powerful idea over here. So the profit that we have, so the joy that we're speaking about over here is that you own something. You own your stuff, which is going to be a process of first being a little down, but then transforming that to bitterness, breaking that negativity, right? Like when you're going like that on something, you can turn on a dime and turn direction from the negativity that you had from that contrite feeling and that humbling of yourself. That gives you the capability to turn a direction in your life. Turn a direction. Very powerful idea. This is a first level of joy. We're going to go to different levels of joy, right? The 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 uh, the fact that you had something that you dealt with, right, in your life, and now you move on, and you know that God has forgiven you. That itself is joy, right? But there's more levels of joy. So bitterness is on anger, by the way. It's a little different. Bitter is a force of change. Anger, anger, I don't know how to, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't see questions here. Okay, Rambam. That's it. More to come. Stay tuned.